Hello and welcome back to another video, here for yet another league race, this time in the PSGL F9 division, and we're at Canada today. I'm also nearing the end of the season, so I think I'm in the battle for top 5 in the championship, but it is very tight in here. It's one of the things, this is one of the top leagues on PlayStation, so it is very tight indeed. Now coming up to, I believe this is the end of my first flying lap through the final chicane. Very cautious indeed, very much didn't want to cut the corner or anything. You'll see here I dart straight to the inside here. I thought my teammate was going to go for a flying lap, but I think he cut the final chicane and so backed out of it. So that's why that looked a bit weird from anyone from anywhere else. You can see their new tyres. Lap times here, they were quite scarce to be honest. I think a lot of people struggling to set a time. You can see only the top, I think that's 11 at the moment. You can see the rest of them though without a time at the moment. Now jumping on later, but much later now, into the qualifying. You see pretty much everyone set a time, just a couple that haven't managed yet. So my teammate included, Delta, Nano and Josh. A couple drivers there that I've had decent battles. I think I've had a battle with all of those four at some point. But yeah, so it's going alright. My first lap was okay. I knew I left a lot of time on the table. Didn't quite know how much time was still out there. Obviously I really didn't want to cut anywhere. Canada is absolutely horrible when it comes to track limits. Literally through there you can see I got a pretty terrible run out of that corner, to be completely honest. This lap was also broadcasted live on the PSGL YouTube channel. Justly, I didn't know until afterwards, but most of my final laps are due to when I do them. Coming now, you can see we are up, coming down through turn 3, completely missed the apex, but then run right out to the wall, so we do gain time overall. Right up close to the wall through turn 5 as well. We should hit the apex for turn 6, which I don't think I managed once in the race. The car didn't feel most stable. At least through there. It must be rear locking or something, I have to look into it. You can see I had to correct myself. Channeling through turn 8, nearly cut the corner. We lost a little bit of momentum, but we are still 4 tenths up. Down to the hairpin. Now apparently you're not supposed to use that curb, which again I didn't know. As you see we are losing time as a result of it. So at least I know in the future not to use that curb on the inside. 2 more corners to go now. This is where any sort of good lap can just be eradicated. You can see we just want to get away with it right up to the wall as well on the exit. Running up to the line, of course staying over to the right, the closest line. And then up into P5, which is a decent lap. You can see P6 at the end of it. Very close at the top. Apparently my teammate was on a lap that could have put in P6 but didn't manage to get it in at the end. And you see Josh there failed to set the lap time. Overall, I was quite happy with that. To be honest, qualifying in the top 10 here is usually quite difficult. I think I failed on a couple of occasions. It's the only league I have failed to qualify in the top 10. You can see the soft, medium, soft strategy. I was not afraid to go off what the game wanted me because I know the strategy works here. I'm very comfortable with doing this, and I know my tyres can get to the end. So now as the 5 red lights come on, we get underway. We actually get a really average start. I didn't lose positions, I didn't gain positions. Come down to turn 1. I have a little look with the Alpha Romeo sends up my inside as well. I think that was Alpha. Of course, you might know him as Mystic. He's had that name changed for a couple of weeks out of the time of recording. There's a VSC there, pretty much saved me from getting dived on by my teammate, I think. Obviously you would have seen B-Boy. Just kept me to the outside coming into turn 3, so I couldn't take the inside. I was quite lucky the VSC came out then. I kept me in P7, so I could lose one position at the start. Very nearly ended up in a 3 wide sandwich at the apex of turn 1 as well. Which was a little bit scary, but we just about got away with it by the look of things. So not too bad overall. see,
Virtual
we have
safety
2.5
car is
seconds on the
ending.
delta.
Maintain your pace until the green flag. VSC ending. Wait for green.
I'm just waiting. We go green then at the apex, to which I miss completely. I see that a lot in this race as well, just not hitting the apex. I struggle a lot with getting the car slowed for hairpins like that. I struggle as well with Spain, turn 10. For some reason the car doesn't want to slow. See my teammate here looking very racy behind me. I have to go a little bit defensive into the chicane. And on the exit you can see Kieran's the fastest lap. Going into turn 1. My teammate did have a little look around the outside. Wasn't really having any of it. After Bahrain, I think it was last week, I'm not as willing to be nice to my teammate as I was before. But I'll get over it at one point. You see, replay of the start then. Wheel spin, pretty much everyone. I think even I got a little bit of wheel spin this time. You can see I moved over to the inside, had a little look. You can see the Alpha there. Bashley backed out of the move. I didn't actually know that at the time. I thought his car was still there, which is why I left the apex completely empty. You can see the VSC was deployed. Front wing going from someone, I don't know who that was. Now jumping back to the end of lap 2, now running up towards the final chicane, towards the World Champions as well. Which I think a couple of people hit. You can see my teammate again looking to the inside. It's a little bit laggy as well. I think someone took the ball there, one of the two ahead. I don't actually know which one it was. I still don't know which one of them it was that hit the wall. See Grumpy once again trying around my outside. We have a little bit of contact this time. But I just about leaving the space. If he wants to go up the inside, he would have had to use the apex there, which is not, doesn't have the most grip. But I feel like I was very fair in my defence. I think he had to back out, and he knows we have a chance of achieving something that can shock us, I think. Two ahead, go side by side through the final chicane. We get a little held up behind Mad Scientist before pulling out. And just pretty much destroying him in a straight line. And down onto the brakes, next target there, you can see. Had to go wide at the apex, or we were running straight into the back of the Williams, I think it is, that B-Boy is in. So we now come down through the chicane, and flat at turn 5, you can see right up behind B-Boy at this point. He's looking a little bit loose as well, so I think it might have been him that clipped the wall. I'm not entirely sure. You can see we do get a run of him coming down into turn 8, but I just decided not to. That wasn't ending well. We would have lost time to the guys behind as well, which I wasn't really prepared to do. Going down to the hairpin, he goes very defensive. I'm not sure why. I was quite far back, and he goes deep, so I just thought I'd switch back and get a slightly better run. Not the exit is quite equal. I just used a bit more power on the exit. And you see still in rich mix, got DRS as well, so just pulled ahead. Back over to the racing line. Compliment from Jeff. They're very rare, so you have to take what you can get. And then down to turn 1, he wouldn't have had DRS either, so I knew I was pretty safe there.
To the car in front is 4.1
and I was
seconds.
able to just hold on to P5, at least for now. Jumping now onto lap 6, coming down through the chicane once more. You see we have gapped the guys behind, but then a safety car comes out, which kind of helped and hindered me. As you can see now, we do come into the pits along with, I think, everybody else. My teammate also came in, which would have obviously held him up. But it's always important to be ahead of your teammate, because then you don't get held up in the pit lane. You can always help. You can see we don't get held up at all. So we get really lucky with traffic. That Alpha may have held us up if we didn't come into the pit box. But you see now we are rejoining in P7. I believe 2 cars ahead did not stop. One of them I think was Matty. You might remember from a couple races I did or posted at the start of the week. You see the other car there is Special, who decides to overtake Jake RT. I don't know why he's done that. One, it's his teammate that he's just given a penalty to, or at least because now he pulls out of the way. I normally don't include stuff under a safety car, but I just thought I had to do this because I find it quite funny that some people still overtake. Like, it's clearly says in the rules that you shouldn't overtake under any circumstance. Yeah, I don't know why he did. I guess I was quite thankful Alpha didn't overtake me, because I'm pretty sure he came close at some points. See, now running through turn 5, this has gone on since the start of turn 1, pretty much the start of the lap. And Jay Carty finally concedes. He would have been given a penalty for that, which of course he would have served when he pitted again. You can also see that Grumpy is on hard tyres. This is, I believe, now the restart, flying through the final chicane. Kieran's retired. I believe he hit the pit wall.
The track is clear. Green flag.
Especially I saw his AI. I was not intending to send it. It was not my intention at all, but it happened. So I'll take the position now. I'll go to P5. Here's the replay of that. Then you can see I do get a run on the Mercedes, but honestly, I never intended to go up the inside. Into turn 1. I think I actually braked before him, but then I saw how slow he was on the brakes, so I just thought I'd go up the inside. We're jumping on to lap 11, you see we have to be a little bit defensive from Alpha behind us. Of course, as always, doesn't really like to run any downforce, or at least it doesn't look like he does, because he tends to be very fast in a straight line. So down through turn 8, completely missed the apex there, and now he's pretty much right behind me. I also have lost out to the guys ahead. Down to the hairpin, you can see taking a bit of a GT line, just diving straight towards the apex and the braking. I'm coming down the back straight. I could see he was gaining me before the DRS, so I just thought I'm not fighting this. Kept the fuel in rich. I don't entirely know why, to be honest. You see, just completely get out of the throttle. Follow him through the chicane. And just tried to hold the gap to my teammate behind. He was on harder tyres, so it wasn't too difficult. As there's now a 6-car train for the lead of this race. So it's quite insane, really. There's 5 of us, so Matty, I believe, were into the pits. Between that last lap, and now you can see that Alpha makes a little bit of a mistake coming out of turn 9, so I just go full power, move to the inside, send it, bit of a lock up. I really didn't want to hit him. I was completely full lock. I could feel my wheel wouldn't turn any further. You can see DRS as well, as we had it on Alpha. Up into P4 now as well, also in the train, so it would be a bit unlikely he could have just gone back as he did last time, but Brandon has just pulled away out in front. You see here from the front wing of my car, or at least very briefly. Very close indeed down into the hairpin. You didn't see the lock up really from that angle, which is what I quite like. Yeah, out in front, Brandon has just pulled away. Lap 20, now we get our time penalty.
We've been awarded a time penalty.
Just, I guess, a little bit of carelessness.
Time at the end of the race.
But this track will always bite if you do anything slightly off. We run up now out of turn 7.
Less than a second separate you.
Ask about penalties ahead of us.
Tyres are 12 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:12.6. You're gaining by 1/10 a lap.
See, I don't think he had any penalties. Or if he did, then I just cut it off. You can see everyone pits under this VSC, which I can't remember who it was caused by actually. Now that I think of it. So we have taken the lead onto lap 25 then, and we finally come into the pit lane. This is for soft tyres. Of course, the guys that pitted on lap 20 or 21 whenever the VSC was out, all those guys went into mediums, because 15 to the end, I would have done 15 on those mediums.
Go, go, go.
So Brandon gets past quite easily, Nano as well. But Jay Carty, with that extra 5-second penalty he had for the safety car stuff with his teammate, we do jump him.
Let's get some heat into those tyres.
And we rejoin then in P3 with much better tyres as well. So we are able to just pull away onto lap 28 now.
Currently, the fastest lap is a 1:10.6.
We do check the fast lap of 1:10.6. I did a 1:10.8 on my attempt, so close, but
make sure to keep it positive.
Not quite there. Which is of course a little bit unfortunate, but that's how these things can go. We have to avoid the ghosted Ferrari. Then I'm not sure what would have happened entirely.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative.
As you can see now, Nano and Brandon both in the pit lane, so we do resume the lead of this race once more. which I was quite happy about. Now onto the restart, lap 31, we're going to have 4 laps to try and hold off these guys behind. They are much quicker, their tyres are now fresher than mine as well. So it was very difficult indeed. You can just see we're waiting, weaving a little bit. And I actually got accused of an unsafe restart for this, but you'll just see what I do. So you head through the chicane, I didn't accelerate there, they hit each other, and then I go. I intended to do that. I was questioned about whether I went into the chicane and then stopped. Because obviously they all thought that I would have accelerated on the exit, but I didn't. Big brain time. A little bit excited as well there when Nano tried up the inside of Brandon. But again, nothing happening there. Brandon held on the position, which made my life harder because I know Brandon is much quicker. Me and Nano, our paces are about similar. He made me a little bit faster. But I know Brandon is very quick. Now onto lap 33. You can see he is within the DRS. As you run all the way down the back straight. See there, he does have a time penalty. Heading on to the end of his race. Now onto the final lap.
This is your final lap.
I knew I didn't have to win it on track because I only had, I think, 3 warnings. Which is of course only 1 penalty, so 3 seconds. But you can see a little bit of a mistake on the exit of turn 2. Honestly, this is possibly the most intense lap I've ever driven. Obviously, I've had pressure before for race wins. If you remember Belgium last week in CSGB, I had the Eigenmar behind me the entire race. But this, I felt like, obviously PSGL was a much bigger lead. This is going to really help me if I can get this win on track. A lot of pressure on the back of me, especially Brandon. We have dropped Nano a little bit. Then down into the hairpin. I actually made the apex for once, used pretty much all of the track on the exit. Kept it as straight as possible as well. You can see I had the 5/10 gap. I kind of knew I was safe at this point because he had been about this gap, I think, last lap. To come through the final chicane, and at this point I know I have the victory, at least on track. There we go, the celebration weave across the line. Jay Carter jumps into second because Brandon and Nano both got a penalty when they hit each other from my restart. You can see there a win, and in this league, I think it didn't feel like my greatest one. Maybe probably because my first one was really good, and then a couple others, a couple of special ones or like comeback ones. But this one, it was definitely up there because I know the caliber of this league. It is very tight. So it's very hard to get a decent performance. You literally just keep yourself clean and have the pace, and you can get decent results. You can see it is a win by about, I think, half a second. Sorry, 2.5 seconds. A lot of DNF as well. It was actually my teammate that caused that final safety car. I think I cut that bit out. That was a little bit suspicious. But that will be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Do leave a like and subscribe as well if you've enjoyed it. It helps me out massively. And of course, I reply to all comments. Drop down any suggestions. Apart from that, I'll see you tomorrow with the next one.